We're planting a drought-tolerant summer container today on Pots and Trowels, and that's brought to you with the support of King Seed and Cobra Garden. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, it's that time of the year when we're planting containers to go outside on the patio or balconies that will give us lots of colour and interest all the way through the summer months. And if you go to the garden centres, they've got a huge range of plants that you can put in them. But today I'm going to plant something a little bit different. I'm going to plant it with a selection of plants that have got resistance to drought. So they naturally grow in more arid, warmer climates. And if we don't water them every day, they certainly don't mind. In fact, they will go for long periods without any water. So this is a great one if you've got a sunny corner or sunny area where you struggle to get water to. Plant it up, get it established, and it will just flourish right the way through the summer. So we've got the pot here, we've got the plants. I'm using a terracotta pot. I just think that looks in keeping, so it doesn't matter what sort of pot you use. And of course, it's got a drainage hole there in the bottom. We need to make sure that drains. These plants don't want to be wet and soggy, so traditional way of doing this is to put some bits of broken plant pot, what we call crocks, in the base. If you haven't got these, don't worry, you can put in some stones that you dig out the garden or some coarse gravel, and the idea is we just form a little archway over the hole so the compost doesn't block it up, water can still drain. Now this is also quite a deep pot. It's going to take a huge amount of compost. It's going to be heavy. It's heavy as it is without anything in it. So I'm using some polystyrene, and this is just packaging from something that we had delivered. And rather than stick it in landfill, I always keep some, and it's great in big pots. So I'm just going to put that in the bottom. It takes up a little bit of the space, so we don't need quite as much compost. We've still got plenty of room there for the roots to grow down, so enough depth of compost makes the container a little bit lighter, and it also aids the drainage a little bit as well. So lots of benefits of using that in our pot. And then the compost, you can use any compost really, but it needs to be well drained. So this is a bit of a mixture that I've made. It's a peat-free multi-purpose that I've got in there. I've added a little bit of loam, which just gives it a little bit of weight, and it holds the moisture for a little bit longer. And then I've added some grit, and you can probably see the grit in there. I've just put some alpine grit in there. If I hold it, you can probably see the grit pieces in it. And that just makes sure that it not only will it retain moisture, but it will also drain quite freely. And that's the sort of conditions that these plants need. So we can put some of this in here. So I'm going to mix that into the bottom, get it to roughly the level we need to be to start putting some plants in. If you have this sort of compost and you hold it in your hand, it needs to break up when you touch it with your finger. If it stays in a solid lump, then it's not what we call sharp enough and free draining. So we've got the compost in there, and then we can start to position some plants. Now, plants, of course, are the all-important thing with this. They need to be plants that will tolerate a sunny position. They need to be resistant to drought, so go for periods without. So in the crate here, I've got a little bit of a mixture. So things like aeoniums, and we grow quite a few of these outside in pots through the summer. These are natives of Tenerife, come in all different colours. You get lovely purple ones. This is a lovely sort of pale one with a variegation on it. So these thrive in hot conditions, as do echiverias. And this one is flowering at the moment. This rosette of succulent leaves, that's the telltale sign. They've got these thick succulent leaves that are water storing units, so they can go long periods without rain. Again, in different colours, you can get sort of bluey coloured ones, pink ones, green ones, different sizes. This is an aloe, and you think of aloe vera, well, this is closely related. This is Aloe striatula, much taller growing, just producing a flower spike here. Almost hardy in some parts of the UK. In the south, this will survive outside. I think where we are, it's touch and go. More echiverias, but you can also use sedums as well. Sedums are great. And this is one called Gold Mound that will tumble over the side. I've got a little euphorbia here, Mercenites, which is sort of often used in rock gardens. It's a trailing one. So these have already had the lime green bracts on, but we can see here it's starting to make nice new growth. And another plant, which isn't flowering today because the sun isn't shining at the moment, but this is called Delosperma. And this has a lovely daisy flower. It's like a perennial mesembryanthemum, so it is fairly hardy. This, you can plant it outside in a sheltered space. It makes a carpet, and again, it's got these lovely, lovely fleshy leaves. So I've got a mixture there. So what I'm going to do is plant it with me at the back. That's the front. It's going to stand against a wall. So I'm going to start with my aeonium. So I'm just going to knock that out. What I've also done is given them all a really good drink beforehand. That's important that the root ball is moist when you plant, because then they've got some moisture to get them going. And we'll pop that one in, I think, just about there. So we're going to pop that in. We can angle it a little bit to the front if we need to and get it to the level we need. So it's just a case of positioning them. We want some height at the back. So next I'm going to put in the aloe, and this can go at the back. It gives it a bit of height and structure. And this has got quite a vigorous root. In fact, the pot it's been in has been a bit root bound, so it will love being out in some fresh compost. So again, just position that. And then I think we'll put in this lovely Echeveria. I just love the colour of this. Be a bit delicate because the flowers are all over the place with it. And that one can go in there like that, I think. And we can always sort of put these up if we want to so that they're holding position, and then more compost around. So it's just a case really of positioning them for decorative effect. We're planting them fairly close together. That's absolutely fine. And then I need a bit more compost around the front for the smaller plants to fill in. So if I put some compost into there, give them a firm as well. We don't want them to be too loose. That will, if we leave them very loose, then the compost will dry out even faster. So I'm just going to pop round the front where I can see. And it's really whatever you like. So I'm going to start with this lovely sort of trailing succulent. I'm going to put this in the middle to sort of cascade over the front like that. And then we can pop maybe something like this euphorbia to cascade over the side there. We want to get some trail with this. Just move that a little bit. And then one of the Delosperma, this one, which has got a very pale flower. Now again, that one can go into there, like that. So it's already filling in nicely. And then I'm going to put another Delosperma, just going to adjust that one slightly. Another Delosperma just in here, which again will cascade over the side. And then I can fill in with a little bit more compost when we've positioned them. And then the sedum, the golden sedum, we need something at the back, don't we? Because although we won't see it, we need something just to fill in. So that can go in just here, and that will spread around the back and also cascade over. So what I'll do, just finish off with a little bit more compost, tidy it up, and then we'll give it a good drink. So when you're planted and you've filled up with compost, just give it a bit of a tidy up, make sure everything is firmed in as well. Now you can do, if you want to, you can top dress with a fine grit for decorative reasons if you want to, which I may do, but I want them to settle in first. So I might do that in a week or so's time when I know that everything is growing. And the other thing we need to do, of course, is just give it a drink. Although they were watered before we went in, I'm just going to give it a drink. So it doesn't matter if you water them overhead, it's absolutely fine, but we just want to moisten the compost and settle the roots in like that. Now, although these plants are drought resistant, it means they can stand periods without rain once they're established, and that's the case with any plant in the garden. If it's drought resistant, you still need to water it until it gets its roots out into the compost. So probably every 2 or 3 days, if the weather's warm and dry, I'll just give it a drop of water just to encourage the roots from the root ball to get out into this new compost. Once they're out and I can see that they're actually starting to make some growth in a couple of weeks' time, I can then cut way back on the watering. And my plan is to water this no more than maybe once a week, or even, once every 10 days or 2 weeks. The plants will tell me when they want to drink, but if they don't get rain for 2 or 3 weeks, they will all be absolutely fine and thrive. So new idea, something a little bit different. If we're going to get a hot, dry summer, then this is something that will survive the weather. If you're unable to water regularly, if you want to do something on a smaller scale, then this is just a small bowl with some drainage holes drilled into the bottom, and these are sempervivums, the house leeks, and they've just been dotted in there, left to grow to make a carpet over there. These get very, very little water. These will go weeks and weeks without water. So, these are really, really low maintenance and attractive as well. So have a go at planting something a little bit different in the garden this summer. And remember, when you stand it on the patio, have some pot feet or this plastic ring we use called Pot Mate, just to lift it off the ground to help a little more with the drainage. So thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember, all the videos we've done you can find on YouTube along with our podcast as well, and we'll be back again next week in the garden, so we'll see you then. Bye.